Temperatures have been breaking records across the country this summer, but some middle school students in Phoenix, Arizona found a fun and educational way to beat the heat. ICT's Pacey Smith-Garcia tells us more.
At the Montecito Community School, summer campers are taught substance abuse resistance strategies while learning about their culture.
So Living in Two Worlds originated in correlation with the Phoenix Indian Center, our coalition, and also ASU. They created this curriculum because parents saw the need for it to educate our young ones about staying substance free, but also wanting to get them more involved in learning about their culture, especially if they're living here in the city or in an urban area and don't really get to go back home on their reservations or ancestral homelands.
As a prevention specialist at the Phoenix Indian Center, I take part in organizing the Living in Two Worlds programs that we do with the schools and with the summer camps, and I have a background in education, elementary education, so I was a good fit with working with middle school youth. It feels good to give back to your community and to work with them, especially just because growing up in the city, I couldn't relate to a lot of people or a lot of natives. There weren't a lot at my school, so it's nice to meet a bunch of new natives.
So we have middle school youth here, and they get really excited when we talk about culture or heritage, or it seems like their attention spans widen a lot when we talk about their values as Native peoples, stories from their grandparents or their families, and how it ties to their contemporary life here in the Valley. My favorite part about being here at camp has been seeing how much they've grown. They've gotten a lot more interest in who they are as Indigenous peoples. They like learning more about their family lineage, and of course, I think just being around other Indigenous youth, because usually they don't really get to see Native faces in their schools, especially in big city areas. So I think they feel comfortable and very welcomed in this safe space that we provided for them.
Currently, the program is only located within Maricopa County, but they hope that this program will be picked up nationwide. In Phoenix, Arizona, Pacey Smith-Garcia, ICT News.
And those are the headlines for the ICT Newscast. Muwekma Ohlone Chairwoman Charlene Nijma sent a letter to Interior Secretary Deb Haaland in July asking for the National Eagle Feather Repository to be made accessible to her tribe. The repository is maintained by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to distribute the feathers of golden eagles and bald eagles to Native Americans and Alaska Natives from federally recognized tribes. That's a thorny conversation for the Muwekma Ohlone in California, who are technically not federally recognized right now. The story is more than 40 years in the making when the Muwekma Ohlone Tribal Council first began the process of asking the U.S. government for federal recognition status. The Bureau of Indian Affairs has determined the tribe was previously federally recognized, but has left the Muwekma Ohlone off the official list since 1978. I sat down with the nation's chairwoman to discuss these efforts.
Chairwoman, thank you so much for joining the ICT Newscast.
Thank you for having me.
I feel that I know more than most people about your tribal nation because I studied at Stanford for 5 years, which is the homelands of the Muwekma Ohlone. But for the people who are learning about your community for the first time, tell us about it and give us a very brief history.
Horshay Tuhi, Gana Krakat Charlene Nijme, Wetresh Muwekma Wugwuhum, San Francisco Bay Area, Tak. Good day, I greet you in our native Chochenyo language. My name is Charlene Nijma, and I'm the chairwoman for the Muwekma Ohlone tribe of the San Francisco Bay Area. I am the granddaughter of Dolores Sanchez, who was born on the Sonoma Rancheria in 1911, and great-granddaughter of Ramona Marin, who was born on the Aliseo Rancheria near Pleasanton in 1893. My ancestors were forced into the 3 Bay Area missions, that was San Francisco, Santa Clara, and San Jose. The Muwekma people were recognized as an American Indian tribe in the early 20th century, and our status was never terminated by any act of Congress or administration. But because of a mistake by the Bureau of Indian Affairs, we were left off the first official list of federally recognized tribes in 1978. And we have spent the last 40 years fighting to have our status restored.
You are planning on taking a very long journey on horseback from California to Washington, D.C. Tell us when you anticipate that happening and what your message is for this journey.
Sure, I plan to journey out in May, the beginning of May. And the message is exactly what I'm saying here in this statement to Secretary Helen, is the really bringing voice to the forgotten tribes like Muwekma and the others that are unrecognized, who don't have access, to these different policies that are in place only for recognized. Like I said, it's amplifying our voice and bringing these issues out to the open, right? Because they don't listen. They ignore us. I've been, since I was the chairwoman for 5 years, Congress has been ignoring me. And now it's time, really bringing the voice of the forgotten out in the community and actually right at the front lawns of the White House. We will stay there until they come out and meet with us.
Given that a Native American is the head of the Interior Department with Secretary Deb Haaland, and also given that she knows a lot about tribal issues, is timing important in your tribal nation's requests to the Interior?
Oh, it's very important. I believe that, she's, the first Native American woman in this as the Secretary Interior. We have hope, right? We have hope that she will have a sympathetic ear. She will listen and hear our struggles and take action. And also the timing for the Trail of Truth, right? It's during campaigning season. I think timing is very important here. And I think people are really gonna start paying attention, because this issue is happening. The struggles are happening throughout Indian country, not just in California, but throughout. And I think more of our relatives will join this truth, right? Because it's speaking truth to power is really what this is about.
ICT is reporting that a district court judge in DC has allowed a rule to move forward to the next level that would essentially ban tribes from reapplying for federal recognition if they were previously denied. What is your reaction to that, and how do you anticipate that impacting the Muwekma Ohlone?
And that's devastating, right? Yeah, it is shocking, because it is devastating, because we fit in that same position, right? We went through the process and we were denied. So what happens? What do you do when tribes, find new evidence, right? So they can't repetition if there's new evidence that have been found to supplement wherever that gap was, right, prior to being denied. I mean, I guess that's, my question. I think it's unjust, because right now Muwekma's position is, really, honestly, Muwekma has always, even with my predecessor, the previous chairwoman, she's always asked for reaffirmation. There's been 3 tribes in California who received reaffirmation, meaning that they were acknowledged by the federal government. That was Ione, Lower Lake, and Tejon, most recently Tejon. And Muwekma has always asked for the same treatment and always denied, because Muwekma was acknowledged by the federal government, because we were acknowledged by a land to receive land, but an Indian agent decided not to buy us land. But we still continued. We still continued as a distinct community in the Bay Area. So it's really an unjust situation, because we're almost stuck, right? We're stuck because they will not reaffirm us, because right now the BIA is not looking at reaffirmation cases. They actually have a policy guideline in place in 2015 where they stated they will no longer look at reaffirmation. And then this case here, where we can't repetition, we can't resubmit our petition based on new evidence.